Welcome back to the Six-Sided podcast. Lots to talk about today. Premier League football returns. The North London derby is here. We're looking at Semenyo. The deal is likely to advance in January, but where is he going? Big updates from Ben Jacobs on that. We're also looking at big reports out of Germany as they blame Mohamed Salah for the poor start to life in Liverpool for Florian Wirtz, the Germans protecting their blue-eyed boy. Who knew? We're looking into those stories, plus we've got some brilliant fact or fictions for you as well. One massive one surrounding Chelsea as well, which I cannot wait to bring to you all today with Cole Palmer returning to this Chelsea team. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I know a lot of you hit the like button later in the show, but get it done as soon as you possibly can. We've got a brilliant, absolutely brilliant panel for you today as well. Realist Guna, a.k.a. Negative Dan, is on the show with us today. Also big up yourself. Also backing Arsenal is man like Seb. Doesn't do the moustache for November. That's his all-round year look. And he's kicking it. And we were meant to have Kwess on the show, but we can't see him. He's invisible there in his camouflage. So welcome back to the show as well, brother. It's good to have you here with us. How are we all, gentlemen?
Very well, very well. Happy that the Premier League's back this weekend, mate. International football's out of the way. So, yeah, man. Excited for the North London derby, mate.
Yeah, me personally, man, I'm tired of seeing Tuchel go back and forth with these journalists about Jude Bellingham, man. We need club football back, bro. We need club football back.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, club football needs to come back yesterday. It's been. I've enjoyed watching the smaller nations, and I mean that with respect to Scotland and Ireland and others, kind of do their thing. As an England fan, it's actually brilliant. But it's been so easy. It feels, you know, when you're a kid and you get a cheat for a football game, like you get Football Manager cheat, and you had like back then 500 million was a lot of money. You get 500 million and you can sign any player you want, and you win every game. And it still sounds great when you put the cheat codes in, but then you're like, oh, this is shit. Actually, winning easily. I feel like England are a bit like that in the group stages. It's yeah,
man. They need to start spicing it up a little bit, man. Do you know what I mean? That the Nations League is not enough. Sometimes just give us a little round robin. England, France, Germany.
Well,
see who wins.
I would get rid of qualifiers. I would make it all about the Nations League. And if you're in sort of B and A groups, if you finish the Nation League season in that, you just automatically qualify for Euros, World Cups. But at least that way, France, England, Spain, it's only ever those types of teams playing each other. And then the smaller nations, the ones that do well in the Nations League, they then go into a playoff game with the sides that maybe in the higher leagues of the Nations League miss out. That's your one-off playoff. It's done. And we haven't got to keep doing... You don't then need as many international breaks. That's what I personally do. That's just me, though.
Yeah, but that wouldn't make as much money. That's the problem.
Yeah. Right. You're right. You know, we know how they work. What did it say? Terry, World Cup for England or United Quad? United Quad. Every day. I love my nation winning, but I'd always pick my club team over the international team.
You unpatriotic.
It's weird. I'm only like that with football, though. Like with rugby, like it was like London Saracens are like my rugby union team. If someone said England win the World Cup or the Saracens win, I pick England. Cricket would be the same. If it was Essex to win the sort of the county championships, or England to win the Ashes, I'm definitely picking the Ashes. When it comes to football, I've just got to pick United. Yeah,
I hear that.
I'd rather win the League Cup than England win anything. So,
do you know? I think a lot of it when I was younger is because there is no United players in the squad at the minute, unless you include Rashford, who's on loan, which most don't. But when I was younger, I think it was going to a lot. I used to watch England religiously. I'd go home regular, went away quite a lot. It was the way, I'd be on coaches or on trains or in the ground, and the way the Man United players were spoken about by other fans, it led to me not enjoying it anymore. So I've always had a bit of a us over them thing, because I remember being at a ground and Gary Neville was about to take a throw in. It was when England were like touring around the country because Wembley was shut. And one of our own fans didn't quite get to him, went to punch him in the back of the head. And I remember just thinking, Like, as a United fan, I'm sitting going, what am I doing here? Like, they want to hurt my players, literally. So, yeah, never been a big fan.
Get that comment off the screen, Terry, man. Thank you. Man. Came close.
Remind everybody of is that Jamaica or Nigeria for you?
Jamaica. The Wally couldn't get them over the line, man.
But I'm glad McLaren's gone though. He just he weren't doing the business.
He said one love to you all, and then he got out of there.
I saw that.
Is that what he said?
I didn't actually think that was a real quote. He said one love to you all.
He's taking the piss.
Oh my word. That's like Tuchel leaving and going, cheerio.
Yeah, bro. That's
funny.
Said, one love, my G, you know.
Bruv, not as bad as... Did you see the voodoo comment?
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw that.
That was mad.
I saw that.
That was crazy. It probably was going on. Telling y'all.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
AFCON's different, man. Put a little chicken foot in the goal. It's mad. See the ball skying over the crossbar. Hey, man. Couldn't be my team, man.
Terry, did you watch when England cricket team won the World Cup? Cricket in the last 15, 20 years is a sport I've kind of dropped. As in, I just don't have the time to watch it. So no, I don't. I knew when we did do it years back now, wasn't it? I could be wrong about that. I watched bits and pieces, but the last kind of moment I had in cricket that was quite cool. I used to work with a lady, Nisha. I hope you're watching, and she's an Indian lady, and she used to always tell us that she was second cousins with Sachin Tendulkar, and no one believed her because it's like, yeah, of course you are, Sachin Tendulkar. And one day the branch was shut. And we were doing some. We used to do it wasn't like a stock take; it was a bank. But we were doing something we used to have to do behind the scenes. It was still in the days where like statements were getting printed at some branches, and it was a thing about clearing out any old statements paperwork. It was a boring thing. And there was a knock at the door. And she goes, "Oh, Terry, there's someone here to see you." And there he was, Sachin Tendulkar, signed a ball for my little brother, who's a big cricket fan. And I felt so embarrassed because I was like, I thought you were lying, Nisha. I didn't think this was actually real, which was quite cool. But yeah, I haven't watched cricket in a while. So no Norway, but Italy instead. What? I don't know what you mean.
Well, Italy are in the playoffs and Norway went straight through, didn't they? Unless that's what they're talking about.
I think that's what he's saying.
Oh, right.
Because I think Northern Ireland now have to beat Italy to get through to the World Cup, so they're out. Yeah. They're definitely not making it now.
Is that Northern Ireland or Ireland? Is there two of them in the playoffs?
No, so so they're both in the playoffs, but I think Ireland have got like Romania or somebody, so they've got a fairly comfortable one, whereas Northern Ireland have got Italy. They couldn't have got it worse. And then if they beat Italy, then they've got, I think, Switzerland. So, I don't think they're making it, to be honest with you.
This is it now. I've just looked at it here. So it's Italy, Northern Ireland. If they get through, they either play the Ukraine or Sweden.
Yeah.
It's Turkey, Romania. If they get through, it's Denmark or Macedonia. The other side, it's a Czech Republic, Ireland. If they get through, then it's Slovakia or Kosovo. Albania, Poland. And if they get through, it's Wales, Bosnia. I mean, we can only get two more of the. I'll put Ireland in that, although most Irish won't want to be put as in a home nation, but I view them that way because of my son. Oh, it's a shame really that we can't get Wales, Northern Ireland, and Ireland there, just because from a British and Irish perspective, to have all those nations and Scotland, England all at a World Cup would be wicked. It'd be wicked. Someone said incorrect. Oh, I'm only going by something 442 posted. A 442 got it wrong. Okay, cool. I'm only going by what I read on here. There we go. It's not my fault. Don't blame me. Blame 442. Go and unfollow them. Right, let's get the show started. And we have the first fiction or fact question of the night. I've actually changed this one slightly from when I sent it through to you guys because new news came out, but it doesn't change the question too much. Let me just get the timestamp of this right so everyone can go to it if they're watching the playback. And I'll go to Seb first. Fact or fiction? If Man United sign a midfielder or attacker like Semenyo, as confirmed by Ben Jacobs, that Man United are interested in trying to buy him this January, they'll secure a top 4 or 5 finish this season.
I personally think you're going to anyway. So I think I'm leaning more towards fact. Nothing's ever going to be fact, obviously, but for the nature of the question, I think it is fact. I think the biggest issue for United, everyone's flagged up, has been midfield. I think if I was a Man United fan, I'd like to see him come in, like a Wharton come in, and then move Bruno into the 10. Obviously, Cunha and Mbeumo have been fantastic, but when you see Portugal and then Bruno playing for Portugal, it's just night and day what he can do at the 10. He's one of the best players in the world in that position. So unlocking him would be amazing. So I think that would be a superb signing. But United this season have been a lot better than what people thought. I think regardless if they sign anyone, they're in a top 5 race anyway. I think they will do it. They've looked really good for me. So getting that last bit of, it's not the last bit of the puzzle, but one more step towards becoming a good team again. But that midfielder will be crucial, especially running that tempo in the midfield, because obviously sometimes when you do watch United, it is vulnerable in that. And I think it's more important for those away games. United at home have been pretty good. It's when they're away from home, and having that rigidity, that energy in the middle of the park can help drive United forward. So I think I'm leaning more towards fact. I think they will get top 5. And if they do sign a player of that caliber in the middle, then I think that's near on shoe-in for me, to be honest.
Just on an update on that about what was actually said, and don't worry, viewers, I'm not going to be talking about how I actually think Semenyo could do a very good job at left wing back today. We don't need me and the sporting fans schooling everybody again about the way Amorim uses them. But what was said by Ben Jacobs is that Man United want a specialist wide player who is devastating on the counter-attack, but can cover a number of positions, and Semenyo falls into that category. He says United are interested in Semenyo. If United move for Semenyo, it is because they want to add that extra pace and speed into the attacking element of their game. He also states, which I think is quite interesting, was adjacent to what you said, is about João Gomez, that Man United really like João Gomez. He says here, United like João Gomez, suitors for the player are interested, may try their luck in January when looking at Wolves' position in the Premier League, essentially saying that Wolves, by January things haven't improved, Wolves will start actually doing planning for being relegated, because if they've got only another 3 or 4 points between now and mid-January, they are going to go down, because history shows you everybody at that point goes down, so teams might move in for him. So it may be a midfielder and maybe an attacking-minded player United go for, according to Ben Jacobs today. But the negative, Dan, what's your take on the idea that these types of signings could help put United back towards a Champions League spot?
100%. I think it's a fact. Even without the signings, like Seb said, I think you guys could finish in the top 4, top 5. I think you're on 18 points now. You're joint 5th already on 18 points when I looked at it. 2 points off 3rd or something, and 4 off 2nd. So I think you're close to getting there anyway, if you ask me. So if you add 2 players come January, a good midfielder, did you say striker as well?
Not a striker, but someone like Semenyo that can cover a few positions is what they're saying.
100%. I'll say it's a fact. Obviously, nothing's guaranteed. There are other teams in and around you that will be challenging you as well. Your Chelseas, your Liverpools, Aston Villas, even Crystal Palace have got a shot. Bournemouth have got a shot as well. So I definitely see you guys challenging for that top 4, top 5 position. So I think it's looking good for United at the moment with the results that they've had over the last few games as well. Picked up some good wins, couple of draws as well from where you were 4 or 5 weeks ago. You're in a good place. And if I was a Man United fan, I'll be feeling positive, not 100% positive, because we all know Man United fans want to get back to the glory days, challenging for titles, challenging for Champions League. But unfortunately, you're not quite there yet. So it's one step at a time. 4th, 5th, I think it's going to happen. And even before this question came out, I've said it on a previous show and on my show as well, that I think Man United, they was in my prediction for the top 5 already. So, and I think what's going to help is the 1 game a week up until when the FA Cup comes back as well, with these Christmas games coming up. It's going to help you. So yeah, I think it's going to be decent for you guys this season. But I'm not writing off that you just miss out. But I think you should get in that top 4, top 5 with or without the signings.
I'll probably land in the same place, you know.
Sorry, I keep forgetting Kwess. I keep forgetting Kwess is there. Sorry, go on, bro. Go on, bro.
Yeah, man. From the shadows, I just think, I think it'd be the same. Like, start of the season, I put United in top 5. I think I actually might have put you 4th. And I didn't think it was crazy to think that then, because I just thought once you click, once you gel, it's gonna make sense on the pitch. And with the quality that you have in the star players, eventually it's gonna come good. That was just my theory. Was like United. I last season for them and Spurs was a complete anomaly. I know everybody likes to laugh at United, laugh at Spurs, but you just don't see these things happening 2 years in a row. And the clubs are both not in a bad enough position in terms of the actual quality in their players that they would stay down there. So for me, it was just the managers getting their act together that would push them further up the table. So yes, if you sign the right midfielders, I think it's fact. What I will say, caveat to that though, is I think it depends on which midfielder. So I'm not certain if you get the Wolves midfielder, Gomez, I'm not certain that would solidify you top 5, right? But let's say you get Wharton or Baliba, and you lock down that defensive position, you have someone who can do all the dog work so that Bruno can get forward. Then I think you're probably looking at nailed on top 5, top 4. That's what I think. I'm not sure about the Gomez guy, but I think Wharton for sure, because it's just one more added player of quality. I think just changes their mindset. Even for teams going up against you, it's like, I know we'll get to it, but with Chelsea, if you're playing Chelsea, you know Palmer's there, or you're playing Arsenal, you know Rice is there, or you know Odegaard's there. It's a different kind of perspective you have when you're going into that game. So yeah, I just think if it's Wharton or Baliba, I think it's nailed on top 5, top 4, to be honest. Yeah, comfortably.
Yeah, I'm not in the same level of comfort that you all are yet with Man United, but I suppose that's the difference between having an emotional feeling towards your team and not. And I say that a lot when I'm doing content about Liverpool or about Arsenal this season, especially, where I'm like, why are you all panicking or why are you all stressed? Well, I get it. I'm looking at Arsenal and Liverpool from a very calm perspective and point of view. With United, I'd like to think we are where you're all saying, and I get why people are calling it. I still need some more. I need the away form to become a little better and the home form to continue. But weekends like this, if we win this weekend or Monday when we play Everton, I feel that these claims will hold a lot more validity, because then we've played every type of team at home. Good mid-table teams, title challenging and Champions League teams, and sides that we would consider to be within the relegation fight. And then a surprise package in Sunderland. And if we win, it will be 6 of those games played, 1 defeat to the current favourites to win the league, Arsenal, who we actually played well against, and the other games will be 5 wins. And I think you can then start to have those serious conversations about our home form really having done a U-turn on last year. I don't even know if we won 5 home games last season, and I'm probably doing my club a little bit of a disrespect when I say that, but maybe not by much. And I'm going to go and check now back last season. If we had more than...
No, who do you think you're going to miss out to then, Terry? When you're looking at the other teams, who do you say, right, we could potentially miss out to? These 4 teams are going to finish above us? I can't really see no one that's really consistent in and around you anyway, Terry, to be fair.
I hear that. So just last season, we only won 7 games at home. So it's not quite as... They're a little disrespectful, but if we get 5 out of our first 6, considering we only won 7 at home last year, for me, I think that's when you can start to look at that and go, a corner is being turned. And Amorim spoke a lot about how, since Sir Jim spoke in the last international break, about the manager's going to be given time here, no matter what the media or players say and or don't do. And he's sort of identified that as a point where there was a little bit more togetherness, maybe. And I think that's something that's been lacking at our club. Players have regularly thrown managers under buses in terms of, I'm not really enjoying this, or I don't want to play this way. If we down tools and lose a few games, we get to stay. We get a new lease of life and somebody else comes in. And I'm hoping that what Amorim said is the key turning point, because that's more of a cultural issue that will see us stand good. But to your question, Dan, who do I see stopping us? Look, I think the top 4 will be Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. So you've got those 4 teams. You've then got a top 5 element. And will the 5th team get a Champions League spot? I think so, because I actually think the English teams are going to do very well in Europe by and large this year and get the coefficient points. Then I'm looking at Everton, not Everton. Sorry, I've got the wrong table up. This last year's table in front of me. I'm looking at Aston Villa as a team that could stop us, and I know they had a bad start, but they've been fantastic and they're growing. I look at your Bournemouths, Crystal Palaces, who, yes, we're ahead of them right now, but on goal difference and a point, but they've been better than us for 18 months. And we play them both in the next few weeks, one home, one away. That will give us a bit more of an idea in that regard. There is Tottenham as well. And I think Tottenham will lose this weekend, which we'll get onto. And I think we'll win and we'll go ahead of them. But they're a team that's, again, in the last decade or so, I think it's 50-50 split on who finishes above each other in Man United and Spurs, irrespective of what's been going on. So I kind of look at that whole package. And for me, there's a chance of 5th place, but I'm not confident. But that's really based on the last 2 seasons. We haven't been consistent. We haven't been consistent enough to finish in the top 4, top 5 in the last 2 seasons. And it's our away form that worries me. I think home form wise, we could do very well this year, but it's just away from home I'm not confident in yet.
The reason why I'm particularly comfortable with saying good things about Man United, because it's not a false position United. And if you look at their underlying numbers, they reasonably match up with where you should be. You're not over exceeding your XG. You're at around the same level. Really, your defensively is good. Whereas teams like Aston Villa are far outperforming their underlying metrics at the moment, especially the game where I can't remember who they battered. I think it was Bournemouth. They didn't even create 2 XG in that game. Other teams around them. So obviously Sunderland are far outperforming themselves at the moment. So if I was a United fan, you've got to look at the results. You haven't lost in 5 games and then combine that with the underlying metrics and where you're estimated to be with the metrics. It's not a false position. So that's what gives me more confidence, because obviously I'm trying to be impartial as possible with United. I'm not looking at it with any emotion. I look at the data and go, United are in this position. They should be in this position. There's no luck about where you are. In fact, there's been several games where you've been unlucky. You've missed penalties. So you could even argue that you could be higher up. But the thing that gives me that is just, if you were far outperforming what your data suggests, then you can kind of see a downfall coming, because then it's like most teams even out within the data, whereas United are performing at their data. So for me, that's a good indication of you'll start to steady out and you'll be in that top 5 fight.
Yeah, look, I hope so. I think one area that I wanted to improve on that will make me feel more confident is the amount of opportunities, like the XG we've conceded or the opportunities that we concede. There's still too many of those moments. And that also comes in flashes. If you think about the Spurs game, kept Spurs at bay, then they did score a goal. Then we conceded pretty soon after that, the second. Forest, first half, nothing. 2 quick goals beginning of the second half. Then they didn't create much more after that once we settled again. So those 2 chances of Forest, for instance, gave them a big XG against us. But actually, over the course of a game, we were quite good. It's maintaining that 490, a few 90-minute spells on the bounce. And if we are a top 4 team, top 5 team, the level of consistency you're going to get isn't going to match the teams in the title race. But if we improve that area, Mbeumo is performing very, very well. I think there's more to come from the Amads and the Cunhas. And even with Šeško, a lot of people have written him off. I personally haven't. I know he's going to be out for a few weeks now. I think I'm really confident he'll come good and shine. What these players need is, yes, an element of pressure from Man United fans to push them, but they need our support when things don't quite go right. That's the other area I worry about. United fans doing up this whole, but we're not Fergie's United, and then just throwing baby out with the bathwater. Or the media is going to be there to trip us up. And I view it a little bit like, let's not give the media any extra fuel to the fire that they don't need already. And I think we can be our own worst enemy in that regard. But I hope we do it. And listen, on the transfer window, that's also another thing. If we get to the 1st of January and we're sitting there in 6th place, 5th place, 4th place, having beaten a few good teams, I would hope what Ineos would do is go, right, there's a few targets that we want in the summer. Can we make a play for them now, spend that money up front, so that we secure that Champions League spot? Because for me, that's the one thing I'd like to see our ownership do. The Glazers were never great at doing that. It was always just wait until the summer, where I look at it and go, yeah, Gomez is great, but is there a way of pushing to get Belieber early? Maybe it's an extra 5 million, 6 million, 10 million, but actually you throw a Belieber into this team that's already doing well. You throw a Wharton into a team that's already doing well. Then I look at it and go, because I look at it this way: if you have a Belieber, a Wharton, or a Semenyo in this United squad all season, we did this poll on the United stand last night, which 80, and it's United fans, so maybe there's some bias. It's a great question to ask you guys. And the question was, if Semenyo had started the season at United, would United have a minimum of 4 points more, no extra points, or less points than today?
Probably have
based
more
on your,
points.
based on your breakdown, Terry, you think Semenyo can play that wing back role, but I'm not too sure that he'll be as effective in that role that he is for Bournemouth as an out and out winger. Do you understand? So,
but for me, as I've said, I think he can cover in that role, but I also think he could cover when we missed, for instance, this season when we missed Cunha for the game that he was injured in the 10 role. In the games where we haven't had a number 9 and Cunha's gone into the 10 role, Semenyo could go in that position. There's been times where I look at it and go, could we move Mbumo somewhere else? And it's the multifaceted nature of Semenyo, where I think he could have given us a different string to our attack. You could have brought somebody else on with pace and skill and trickery and goals, as opposed to Dorgu. Do you know what I'm saying? So that side of things. And I just looked at it and thought, maybe it ain't 4 points, maybe it's 2 points more. But the reason I brought that up is if we had just 2 points more, we'd be in the top 4 already, and we'd be a couple of points off second. So if you then extrapolate that and you think we're performing well, you add a player like that or a believer in a January, there's a really good chance we make Champions League football. And that in itself is good, but it's what that extra money and that extra bit of pool does to building the squad further in the summer. So I hope David here says you take Heskey right now over Seshko. Yeah, see, this is what I love the most. Right?
On his day, he was an handful for anyone. Let's be honest.
This is the thing. Heskey was a good player, right? Heskey was a good player, but this is where Dave confuses me. In the one breath, we're in a title race. In the next sentence, our striker ain't good enough, our fullbacks aren't good enough, our manager ain't good enough. And I sit there and go, I don't get it. How can you be in a title race where a lot of the players in the team ain't good enough and the manager ain't good enough? David, you're too emotional. Either that or you're doing it for clout. It's one of the two, David. Now, which is it? Which is it? It's like the beard. Is the beard really there for fashion or is it there for attention? And we need to know, David. We need to know, brother. Let us know. If Šeško had shown up to the party, we would have been right bang in it. But he can't put that much pressure on these young fellas, can we tell? I don't think it's fair when Šeško have joined to go, you need to come in and perform like Haaland so that we're in a title race. I don't think that's about pressure. I think that's about creating an unrealistic expectation. And this is why I say it to you, because you didn't say that. You said this season we'd do well to avoid relegation irrespective of the signings. So therefore, you can't, after one bad game against Forest and a bad substitution appearance against Tottenham, say if Šeško had turned up to the party, we'd be in a title race because you predicted us narrowly to avoid relegation. So first thing you've got to do is address how badly you assess the squad, how badly you assess the manager, and you got that completely wrong. And now your view is we are one good striker away from winning a league title. So that's my issue. Not you putting pressure on Šeško. It's your complete U-turn, attacking Šeško, getting clout for it, getting attention for it, but not addressing the fact that you didn't think we'd have a very good season at all. I think you said if we come 15th, between 15th and 10th, you'd be over the moon. Now suddenly Šeško scoring goals, we're in a title race. What we doing, David? What we doing here, my old mate?
15th is nuts, you know. 15th.
He's had a mare. But that's just my view. And by the way, you can change your opinion on it, but I think the first thing you've got to do is because again, that's what I think is going to happen as well. If we have a couple of games where we lose, it'll be, I told you about Amram, how bad this season's going to be. But yet today you're saying if Šeško turns up, we could win the league. What's going on? I don't get it.
Yeah, David's funny. He's funny. When you lot you wanted Amarin out. See, when you lot got a couple wins, I had a tear in my eye. You were saying that. I really wanted this for Amarin. You were saying, "Oh man,
David's the best, man."
My guy.
Yeah, it's. I've turned into the David segment of the show, is what Lou said here. It's not a David segment. It's just the. David, that's why I call him Emo Davids, because he's a very emotional man. I've got a niece of mine who's an emo. And I was with her once when we went to the friendship tent at a concert, and they do that for the emos. And it is 1 minute buzzing her head off, the next minute wanting to cry herself to sleep. And sometimes I'm not even sure what it's over. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what happened? Just nothing. And that's David. David is Emo David. It's just when it comes to Man United. But there we go. Viewers, give us your thoughts, give us your opinions in that comment section below. Next question. And we're going to move into a Chelsea one here. So, Kwess, we're going to go to you first on this. And it is Fact or fiction? Cole Palmer will elevate Chelsea to the next level and lead them this season to the Premier League title.
Damn, I was so hoping you didn't say that. I was reading the question like, yeah, don't say this season because I'm gonna say fact with chest, right? I think fiction. Personally, I've always said Chelsea are gonna come fourth. So it's fiction. I don't think we have the best squad in the world or in the league, right? So I just don't think we can compete on that level right now. I do think we have a very good squad, and I think we have exceptional players. I did hear all of you the other day saying that we only had 2 world-class talents, and I let Seb know expeditiously that he must retract that statement. Okay. But I understand where people are coming from. Me personally, if we finish 3rd or above, I think that's an exceptional season. If we win the trophy too, I'll take it. Listen, there's also a part of my brain though, yeah, I'm going to be real with you, that goes, let's say we go on a run, yeah, like 5, let's say we do like 5 wins in a row. Get to Jan, yeah, and we're still within like 4 points by the end of Jan. Yo, anything can happen. But as for me, with this Cole Palmer question right now, it's still fiction. So yeah, sad times. But we'll see. We'll see come Jan. We'll see.
So I want to say, just to preface this, a lot of these fictional fact questions we posted on our community page today and have come from viewers. But a lot of this has come off the back quest of Nina, a friend of the Terrace. She's been on the show many times, who said today yesterday on Sky that she's more fearful of Burnley this weekend than she is playing Barcelona and Chelsea, because it's the smaller teams that she feels. Yeah, I mean, and of course, some people took it completely out of context. Oh, you think Burnley are better than Barca? What are you talking about? Burnley better than Arsenal? Are you in that mindset as well, that Chelsea are at a stage where you could beat Barca and Arsenal in the next 2 weeks, but actually lose this game away at Turf Moor this weekend as well?
Yeah, but I don't know if I know what a lot of people are saying. I wouldn't phrase it like I'm afraid of Burnley. It's not like I'll be afraid of Burnley. It's just I know that the way Chelsea are, it's the quote unquote lesser games that we probably don't feel as much fear for. So we go into those games in a little bit more lackadaisical. But I would also say, like, we've, to be fair, also had mad injuries. Like, we've barely had the same starting 11, I think 2 or 3 games even in a row. So, like, I'm more looking at these next 3 games, like the Burnley, Barcelona, Arsenal game, yeah. And I'm going, realistically, we probably should get 6 out of 9 points. I don't know if it's Barca or Arsenal. I don't know who it is. Someone's giving us something. I know for sure someone's getting us something. So I get why people are saying that, and I get why Chelsea fans feel that way. Like, oh, you know, but I don't know. I'm not afraid of I'll be honest. I'm not really afraid of a team right now. Maybe probably Bar City. I'll be honest with you. They're the only team that I'd say I'm probably afraid of in the league. Because I just don't know any other team that would ransack us. I can't see it happening. I know people obviously make reference to when we lost to Arsenal, like 5-0, whatever, a couple of years ago. Like, Fez, like, those games happen. We beat Arsenal 6-0. We've lost to Man City 6-0. It happens, right? But I just think the only team I'd really be worried about is City. So I wouldn't go into the Burnley game afraid. I would just go, it's just one of them where you got to be professional, get the job done. And so if the young boys don't understand that, then yeah, we could slip up. I don't think we'll lose to them. I can't see that happening. In fact, I'll say that's not even possible. Come check for me if we do lose. I'll come in and stand there. Yeah. But I think we're getting 6 out of 9. So yeah, I think we're getting 6 out of 9.
What do you think? What do you think's gonna happen against Arsenal?
I think we probably lose, and I think we beat Barca. That's my hunch. But if we lose to you, we're only going to lose like 1-0, 2-0. It won't be a madness. Because even I think the last 2 or 3 times we played you, it's been like 1-0, 2-0, 2-1.
Yeah, we drew twice of you last season, innit?
Yeah, so you see what I'm saying? And that's not even a disrespect to Arsenal. I just think actually that fixture itself, yeah, Chelsea-Arsenal, is quite a weird one where both teams could come in hot and then they just just like cancel each other out. And I personally don't think Arteta is a better manager than Maresca. I don't necessarily think Maresca's like levels above Arteta. But I just think that fixture's weird. Like anybody could come into that game and just it'll be a dud. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. What do you lot think? I'm sure you two as Arsenal fans are thinking you're coming into that game.
That's the one game out of the next couple. Go on, Seb, mate.
I think you will beat Barcelona. I agree with you on that. I think Barcelona's high line is perfect for Chelsea. Against Arsenal, I think just our recent record, I'm pretty confident about that game in particular. I'm not too worried about that really. But my thing with Chelsea, when we're focusing on the question, I would say I don't think Cole Palmer. I'm gonna be nice to Chelsea here. So mark your calendar. It never happened, but I'll do it. Chelsea have been exceptional going forward this season, right? So they've scored the most goals, created the most XG in the league. So Cole Palmer coming in, is it necessarily going to elevate them that much? He's a world-class talent, obviously will make them better. But Chelsea's problems haven't been attacking wise. So obviously Cole Palmer will come back in and improve that attack. But Chelsea's attack has still been really good. So it's not necessarily going to bridge that gap. It's more defensively, and then they just don't have a good enough goalkeeper either to sustain a Premier League title challenge. They will definitely be in a top 5 race, obviously. I think the Cole Palmer returning is bigger for the Champions League, especially because the 2-leg affair, the bigger players can step up and make their mark, and we've seen Cole Palmer do that for England and Chelsea before. So I think him coming back will be far more important for Chelsea in the Champions League in those tighter games because he can score out of nothing. But because of how good Chelsea are in attack, they've been quite good without him. So him being away, I don't think it's that big of a problem. It hasn't really been much of a problem for them at all, really, which is credit to Chelsea. They've coped really well. But for me, Chelsea, he'll be far more important in the latter stages of the Champions League for me than he is going to be in the league. But it will be a tight game against Arsenal. It always is. I think we'll win 2-1. Oh, everything gone.
What's going on here?
We here. Hey, man, the devil's trying to work, man. Rebuke that, man.
Rebuke.
Terry's PC's lock off. It's just us here, guys.
Did anyone actually hear what I said?
I heard what you said.
Based on what you said, Seb, I'll stick to the same point as well. I think Cole Palmer definitely takes Chelsea's attack to a different level. Albeit last season he went through a barren run of not scoring no goals. He was effective in games, but he wasn't great for a lot of those games because I remember I had him in my dream team and I said he's going to come good. He done nothing. So let's just see what Cole Palmer comes back as well, because we don't know what Cole Palmer's coming back, because last season Cole Palmer was very inconsistent. So let's just see what happens when he comes back, what Cole Palmer we're getting. But he definitely takes your attack to another level. But as Seb alluded to, it's defensively where I worry about Chelsea. I don't think the defense is good enough. The goalkeeper, why he didn't go and buy a new goalkeeper, I'm unsure. Sanchez isn't good enough. And I just feel, we've just got to wait to see what he does when he comes back. Your problems are not going forward, though. It's defensively. So, start of the season, I did actually tip you guys to be an outside runner for the Premier League title. But after watching you for these first 11 games, very inconsistent. Defensively, as I said, not good enough. So, yeah, I think that question that Terry asked is fiction. But, yeah, let's hope he's not. Every time we play Chelsea, Palmer's not about. So this might be the one game where Palmer actually plays against Arsenal. He always seems to be missing for the Arsenal games. We've got lucky on many occasions.
I wouldn't be worried about Palmer because you don't already know how I feel, right? We did this the other day, yeah? You got to keep free. Sell one. I told you. The one you got to worry about, yeah, is that Brazilian genie. Yeah, when he pulls up to the Emirates, all right, it could be long. That's the only thing that I'm thinking.
Get on the pitch though when Palmer's back. Estêvão.
Who? Estêvão?
Yeah,
of course. Neto will start and then he'll come off the bench, 100%. But I don't need him to be playing more than 25 minutes. Do you know what I mean? To make an impact. That's the difference with Estêvão. So that's where I'm really looking in terms of where I think we can hurt Arsenal, to be honest with you, because the only thing here's what I do want to say though, yeah. What I've noticed is since the start of the season, I don't think you guys are doing it now, yeah, but the things that Chelsea have been discredited for, it seems to change every other week. So it's like goalie, defense, the attackers are not that great. Is João Pedro, this, blah, blah. Even in terms of Sanchez, right? You know, he's like the second in the league right now for most clean sheets. So in the last 2 or 3 weeks, yeah, every Chelsea fan will tell you that man has improved significantly since defensively they've worked on getting defenders out his way so he could come and claim balls and command his area. So I'm not actually looking at Sanchez anymore like the problem.
So you're happy with Sanchez and Golden? That's what you're saying.
To the end of the season, I'm absolutely fine with Sanchez, right? Because I actually think realistically it's the defensive partnerships where we're struggling, especially the two centre backs. But actually, again, even since Wesley Fofana's come back, we've looked far more solid in defence. Of course, we went away to Karabag. Everybody wants to reference that game as how can Chelsea be decent if they lose to Karabag? It was 2 mistakes. It was Jarrell Hato making 2 crazy mistakes that cost us that game. And since then, we've been absolutely fine. So I'm not actually looking at this Chelsea team the same way I was looking at them at the start of the season. I'm just going, yeah, we need a little bit of consistency. And then actually, to be honest with you, I think we'll keep up with the top 4 up until about Jan, to be honest with you. I think we'll keep up. I think we'll be, like I said, I was confident that 3-4 points off by the end of Jan, I'll be ecstatic with that. If we're like 6, I won't be that stressed. I don't think that's that mad. Because I still think we'll be within top 4. So I don't think we're that bad. And I actually don't even, bar City, again, I will say this, me personally, it's City. I don't think the teams above us are that good either right now. I genuinely don't. I think Arsenal's got its time to have its little squiggity run. Above us is who? Spurs still? Spurs? No, who's above us right now? City, Arsenal. Oh, we're third. Sorry, my bad. So it's only City.
Calm down, man.
Wow, true. That's how I genuinely feel. City's the one that worries me. It's not Arsenal, and that's not a disrespect. It's just I think you have to go through your period of a wobble, and that could start at any moment, especially with these injuries.
I wanted to ask this question, right? Because this is my kind of view on it. I still don't think Chelsea will win the league as it stands right now. And the reason I think that is because I don't think defensively you're strong enough to. And that includes your goalkeeper and your defenders. And I get Wesley Fofana's back until he ain't, because he always gets injured, right? So for me, I just don't have, if I'm looking at it as who I'm going to put a bet on, I don't have confidence in your back line as much as I do City's and as much as I do Arsenal's over the whole season. I'm not saying your back line's terrible. I'm not saying it's atrocious. We are splitting hairs here between who's going to be a solid Champions League team and who's going to win the Premier League. So I think there needs to be, you okay? 1 second, gents. Hello.
Daughters, man. You got to stop for daughters, man. I hear it. As a box myself, man. When the daughters come calling, bro, you got to answer straight.
She lost her earring.
Oh,
well, I can't help you. I will come find them later. Just don't.
I can't find them.
Well, you don't need them right now. You're not going out, are you? It's late. Well, we'll sort it.
Hashtag find the earring in the chat, man.
Innit? It's a crisis right now.
You know what I mean? That's a crisis.
School disco today. She had a sparkly dress on. She was all done up. Bit of perfume before she went out. It was awful dropping her off. But at least there's no alcohol at school discos. You know what I mean? It's good. It's them years I'm worried about. Got to start till 3 a.m, sitting there like this. But yeah, like as I was saying, like so this is the issue sometimes. Social media and football YouTube content has become so polarized. It's sometimes horrible saying these things. Not because I'm being horrible, but you saying we're crap. No, I'm just saying I think there's a couple of teams that are going to be marginally better than you this season, which is why I'm not predicting you to win the league. That being so, it's like, yeah, you haven't got crap players. I just think, and even when it comes to like improving goalkeepers and things like that, it's only marginal gains you're looking for, because that's what happens when you're a regular Champions League team and you're just off the top to becoming a team that wins it. It's marginal gains. There's very few players that Chelsea are going to be able to sign in any position who are light years ahead of what they've already got. Even centre-backs that are better than Fofana, better than Levi Colwill. For me, they're a bit better, but they're not, I don't think they're like 100 times better. You look at the numbers, you look at all of this, and it's marginal gains in those areas, a little bit more consistency. So for me, but I think, all that being said, for me, I think the reason why some Chelsea fans are getting a little excited, I don't think a lot of people are looking at Arsenal as these outright favourites, and Liverpool haven't looked formidable. City, I think people still look at as a team that's going to be up and down. And I think Chelsea fans look at this, and what I've seen from a lot of Chelsea fans today in my comment sections is this is anybody's league. So I think there's that element of maybe you don't need to be as formidable this season to win the league as you would have been to have stopped City in the last 5 years or Liverpool last season. So I kind of, in that regard, I get where the confidence is coming from some people that maybe you don't need to be the elite of the elite this season to win the league. What do you make of that, Seb, as an Arsenal fan hearing that?
I just don't think, if I'm going from an Arsenal point of view, I just don't think anyone's been as consistent as we have so far. Yeah, we might still go for a little bit of a dip, but the meltdown from us just getting a draw, I think shows the standard that we're at, that people are getting so excited that we drew a game, not lost a game, drew a game. The thing is, why gives me confidence, because I've seen the frailties with City, I've seen the frailties with Chelsea, I've seen the frailties, obviously Liverpool pretty much out of it right now. I just think because we're so strong defensive, I think the Sunderland game's a bit of a red herring. They had 2 shots, they scored both of them. It was a bit of a calamity for that goal, but I still think that showed mentality because we got back and we were 2-1 up with a couple of minutes left. But for me, I just think overall we just have the strongest squad, and we've seen Arsenal. We're already been capable of winning several games in a row. We're the only team that has sustained multiple wins in a row. No one else has managed to do it yet, because City will have. I just think with City's squad right now, obviously Haaland is an absolute monster. I think it is technically down to their game plan because they are funneling the ball to Haaland a lot, but there's not a lot of goals being spread about. Even that game against Liverpool where they battered them, they didn't. Both got the first 2 goals were technically deflections, and then there's a wonder goal for Doku. So even in that game, they weren't prolific in the numbers. But for me, it's just Arsenal has shown the most consistency, and it's like even before the Sunderland game, people are struggling to have shots against us. So that's what gives me the confidence, is we have a bedrock there. Even when we go 1-2 goals up, we have the strength in depth just to cut a game out. Whereas with Chelsea, especially with Arsenal, were obviously criticised last year with the red cards. It's been a massive thing for Chelsea so far this year. The red cards, like they were cruising the game against who was it? It was Brighton. They were cruising that game, get a player sent off, it lets them back in the game. I don't know how many games it was in a row that Chelsea were getting red cards, but that was a big factor as well. And then with the injuries, we've had plenty of injuries, and so far we've coped really well. The thing is, with Gabriel getting injured, it kind of annoyed me really, especially with a lot of Arsenal fans going, we have the best squad depth in the world, we're stacked, and then we get one injury and everyone's like, oh, it's all over. Yes, it will be a drop-off from in an attack and defence, but for me, we got great backup. So I'm not having any excuses from Arsenal fans if we do drop off from here about Gabriel getting injured, because that, quite frankly, would be ridiculous. You can't have a great squad and then complain about a centre-back getting injured and dropping off. But for me, I'm confident just because we've shown the consistency that other teams haven't managed to do yet. It might change, but at the moment, that's all I can go off.
Just very quickly, there's been an update from Fabrizio on Semenyo. He said here that the release clause for Semenyo is 60 million plus 5 add-ons. Bournemouth would love to keep him until June. The release clause then drops down to 50 million in the summer. Wow. He then ends it, though, with Liverpool are seriously interested.
Wow.
It's the most logical move if I was him. Go to Liverpool. I mean, actually, you know what? When I think about it, I don't know if it actually is the most logical move. I mean, you're probably going to be starting behind Gakpo. I don't know if I want to do that, but I just think in terms of where their squad is at, you probably don't want to go Man United. I just think that's a crazy move right now. Like, you're basically forfeiting the next 2 to 3 years of your career. Like, that truly is an unstable club right now. So you wouldn't want to go there.
He's starting Gakpo over the last few games as well. So I don't actually know if he fancies Gakpo at the moment. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, said again, he's been putting Ekitike out there. I don't know what he's been doing, but Gakpo ain't been starting. You don't fancy him at the moment. I don't know if he's had a niggle or something like that. But yeah, if Semenyo goes in there, he's looking to nail down that left wing position.
Hey, fair play.
It will be interesting to see with Liverpool whether, when Isaac's back, whether they shift Ekitike to that left-hand side, which I think is what they might do. So I think it'll end up being Semenyo trying to get off Ekitike.
He's done that in one game already with Isaac and Ekitike.
Ekitike started off really hot, and then he's kind of drifted out a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see how he if he can manage to pick his form back up again. But if I was Semenyo, it's difficult. If I was Arsenal, obviously I'd love to get him. I think what we'll do as a club, just because we spent so much money in the summer, we'll probably try, if we are interested, it will be a Zubimendi situation where, we know we can get him for 50 mil. Let's try and get him to agree to signing. It just depends how desperate he is to leave. If he's not that desperate and he can wait till the summer, but I think the player may press for a move, especially if clubs like Liverpool are interested. He's definitely going to try and push. But it wouldn't surprise me if Tottenham entered the race either. Tottenham
was a big Arsenal fan as well, so if it was me personally, I'll be going in for him, because as much as you want to talk about Martinelli and Trossard on the wing, or even Eze on the wing, that's not Eze's natural position. Yeah, Semenyo is levels above, in my personal opinion, from what I've seen, than any Arsenal player that can play on the left wing. So if there was an opportunity to get him, I'll be getting him. That's what I'll be doing. But I don't think it's going to happen.
The only thing that I'm thinking, is how many. I know everybody used to laugh at Chelsea, but how many players has Arsenal got now? You might have got like four players in every position, bro. If you buy Semenyo, left wing alone, Martinelli, Trossard, Semenyo. Up top, Havertz, Gyökeres. And you got that young boy who's like 14. Right wing, Dalman, Saka, Madueke. Midfield, Odegaard, Eze, Declan Rice, Zubimendi. How many players, bro?
Yeah, it's a good problem to have, though, because where in the past we didn't have this strength in depth. So this is always what we wanted. We want to be a top club. We want to win the top trophies. These are the sort of problems we need to have, just like Man City have had over the past years. These are the problems we need to have. That's it. And then come summertime, you can ship a couple of them out, because you talk about the left wing, but Trossard was on the verge of leaving. There was talk of Martinelli leaving in the summer. So Semenyo's not a crazy shout to go and buy him, man. It's not a crazy shout. If it was me, I'd get him. I was calling out for Semenyo in the summer anyway. I wanted Semenyo. Those were the two names, Eze and Semenyo, man. So yeah, we'll see what happens going forward. But if he goes Liverpool, he'll probably flop there anyway, just like Isaac, innit? So we'll see. That's what we want.
Tottenham were very interested in him in the summer, so I imagine they'd probably be interested again, because I'm pretty sure they'd bid around that price anyway. It just depends if he wants to go to Tottenham, being an Arsenal fan or not. But that's why I don't think, as Kwess says, that's why I don't think he will go to us in January, just because I think if we bring him in, we'll have to wait till the summer to try and offload some people, because it's good having depth, but that is a hell of a lot of depth, especially because Semenyo might be, I've got to outs like 3 people. So I honestly don't know. My prediction, if I was going to guess, I don't think he's going to go in January. I think he'll wait around till the summer, I think. Also, I pre-agreement with somebody.
You guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Sound coming through. Sorry, I pressed one on the wrong button, so I had to go shoot off and do something. Sorry. Yeah, it'd be an interesting one. I don't know anything you guys have said, because I literally had to leave the room, but yeah, I don't want Liverpool to get him. I feel sad about Liverpool if they get him, but we'll see what happens. Viewers, let us know what you think. Let us know what you feel. Get smashing that like button if you haven't done so already. Please, ladies and gentlemen. On Liverpool, though, it brings us nicely. Obviously, they've got games coming this weekend, but I don't know if you guys have seen the German article about Mo Salah today. But essentially, I'm going to ask this and throw it to Dan to begin with. And it's fact or fiction. Mo Salah is the biggest reason Florian Wirtz hasn't clicked at Liverpool. He's become a problem for the German star's development. That is claims from leading German outlets who think Mo Salah is the biggest problem that's stopping Wirtz from being a hit at Liverpool and in the Premier League.
That's big fiction. I don't know where this statement's come from, that Mo Salah is the reason why Florian Wirtz is not performing. Of course, Mo Salah hasn't been Mo Salah this season. It's been a big drop-off for him. He just looks like a shadow of the player that we saw last season. He's a year older, he's earning all that money. I don't know what's happened to Salah, but to then put that onto the reason why Florian Wirtz is not performing, it's ludicrous if you're asking me. Of course, if Salah was on form and he was the Salah of last year, maybe he would have helped Florian Wirtz link up play. He would have helped him play better. Obviously, it drives a team on if your best player is doing well as well. So, yeah, there is that argument that Wirtz may have done a bit better if Salah was firing. But no, Florian Wirtz needs to worry about Florian Wirtz and his form and performing. That's it. For me, I think that's big fiction. You can't be blaming Salah for the reason why Florian Wirtz hasn't clicked. Yeah. The only other point of fingers that you can be pointing at would be pointing at Slot. He's the manager. He's the one that's integrating him into the squad. So that's the only person I'll be pointing a finger at. But yeah, not Salah for me. Sorry. Fiction on that one.
I agree. What they've essentially said is that there's been a few times this year where Wirtz could have had the ball squared to him and he would have scored tap-ins, and there's times where he set Salah up and he's missed. Those things would have given him GA. The pressure would have been less. The focus would have been a lot less. And I don't know, it feels a little far-fetched. I think there's multiple things wrong at Liverpool. But what's your view on it, Seb? Because obviously Wirtz has had some criticism, but nowhere near as much as I think most of us would have expected from the media for such an expensive player who's had very little impact on a domestic level so far. But the German press now really coming out and going at Mo Salah and Liverpool.
I think this is just the Germans are obviously like, oh, one of our biggest players are flopping at the moment. His stocks are going to go down. But I don't think it's a coincidence that every time he goes back to Germany, if it be for Liverpool or for the German national team, suddenly he's really good again. It's just a load of rubbish. Just talking about specifically the question, obviously, surrounding Salah. Salah's dropped off because of, I think, largely because Trent's not there anymore. But it's nothing to do with Wirtz. Wirtz is struggling adapting to a new league. He's struggling with the system, especially because before, I think people forget how rigid Xabi Alonso's system was before. He had a very specific role in that team as well, and he's just not got that the same at Liverpool. Obviously, they're struggling even transitioning style. The longer Slot's been there trying to implement his style, the worse Liverpool seem to get. He's just not suiting. He's been moved about all over the place. Like, he's been played in about 3-4 different positions, and it doesn't help that the player he kind of has taken his position over is Szoboszlai, and Szoboszlai's probably been their best player this year. I just think it's a multitude of things, and I don't think Salah is anything to do with Salah, really. They're not. Obviously, he serviced him and he's missed a couple of sitters, but that's not. I've honestly, this is clutching at straws. If I'm going to try and delve into it even in a slight manner, then maybe they're getting in the way of each other. Maybe Wirtz wants to. Maybe if Flourish playing on the right-hand side, he's not going to get that opportunity under Salah. So if I'm going to give any credence to the article, that's the only thing I can really think of is maybe Wirtz would be all right on the right-hand side. He did play that a bit for Leverkusen. I just think he's struggling with the system. He's struggling with the league. And it just happens with some players. Obviously, it's early days, but the early signs are not great. But sometimes it's just some players are world-class and they just can't cope with a specific league. It's happened loads of times. It might just be one of those situations. But yeah, for me, there's just nothing to it. Even if I try and give it some credence, I'm struggling to give it anything, really.
Yeah, to be honest, I probably agree with the both of you two, but you know what? The only way I could see this being fact, yeah, is if you took the line of thinking that when Salah plays well, Liverpool play well, and by default, everyone else plays well around him. That's the only way that this could be fact. But I think what is more diabolical about this is when Salah wasn't passing to Mane, no one was saying this. No one had this much chest about this player's not performing. The fact is this, right? Man cost 100 and something million and he's rubbish. He's rubbish. There's no, you can't actually like try and do a dance with it and make it say or look different. He's rubbish. Yeah, he's absolutely rubbish. And he's looked rubbish because he's playing rubbish. Simple as. And that is okay because sometimes, like Seb and everybody else said, sometimes you come into the league, yeah, and you struggle. But at the same time, I just look at him and just think, yeah, mentally, bro, you're not there either. Like, but part of me didn't even blame him. Like, everyone gassed you up. Like, realistically, if we all sit here and say, when did we hear of Florian Wirtz? Max 2 seasons ago. Max. Before that, we never heard his name. If somebody had asked us, we might have thought he was a flipping like off-brand of Mercedes. We would have never heard of this guy ever, right? All of a sudden, he has one good season under Xabi Alonso, and we're saying he's one of the best in the world. No, he was a phenomenal player in a phenomenal system, all right? But form is temporary, class is permanent. I don't think he'd ever reached a level where he was like class. Do you get it? He was just in really good form at Bayer Leverkusen. So for me, I'm like, all right, cool, I get it. I don't even hold it against him, really, other than I just think his mentality is a bit weak, because I think other players have struggled, and then got it together in the end. So I'm looking at him a bit and I'm going, I hope you do get in the end, because for 100 and something mil, you need to be decent. I'm not having this, he's looked good, but he's just not had the GA. I'm not having it. In the summer, Tom Little said he expects him to get, 10 GA. And I nearly punched my camera off its thing, because I said, that's disgusting for 100 something mil. Yeah. Then he said, 20 mil, yeah. I mean 20 GA. He's not good enough. He's just not good enough. And I get what the German media are doing. They're going, he's a high level asset who plays for our team. We need him to get good in the end. So what we're going to do is we are going to create a scapegoat for him. But at the same time, I just think long term, that's not going to work for him anyway, because he's not going to get any better because people make excuses. He's got to find something within him that goes, I can get the game by the scruff of the neck. If you're not a scruff of the neck player, that's fine. If you can't do that, fine. But then just accept mediocrity and let's move on. Because we're not going to give him any more love than we did. When Havertz came and struggled at Chelsea, he didn't get this. Nobody was saying, what happened to Havertz? Nobody gave him this blight. We've seen countless other players come from, even Xavi Simons, right? People have been as a Chelsea fan myself, I've been cooking Xavi Simons, but then I look over there at Merseyside and I see that little Frodo Baggins look at you and I say, listen, you are not good enough, bro. You ain't got the minerals, and I don't think you're going to survive in this league, bro. I genuinely don't. And if we blame Salah, we're doing a madness. That's just generally, honestly, it's mad. It's madness.
Do you know what I find interesting, though? This is, for a long time, fans don't like this. Football fans don't like this opinion of mine, because I think it makes them feel a bit uncomfortable. But what Liverpool do, I think, better than most clubs in England, is even when they know it's cap, they defend one of their own. They don't, considering they're the most successful team in English football history, it also flies in the face of Standards FC as well, which I like because it's a nice little dig. But I was working with the Red Men from Red Men TV back in January, and we were filming a segment, and they were asked to talk about the players at their club they'd want to be sold. And they were like, no one's on the list. So there must be a player in your squad you don't think is good enough. And they were like, yep, we talk about that after they leave. We don't do it when they're here, the Liverpool players. And that's kind of a lot of their mantra. Now, not every Liverpool fan follows along with it, but I think what it does when the vast majority behave that way is the media are crap. The media now, what they do is they see what the big YouTubers are saying. They see what the big content creators are doing, and they go, we'll have some of that. We'll copy it. You know, they're even basically Sky have started their own fan channel now. Do you know what I mean? It's hilarious. They do exactly the same things that we do. They just have lots of money to kind of perpetuate it. That's why Wirtz isn't getting the attention that Kai Havertz got at Chelsea. Any flop at United has had. Arsenal's players aren't even flopping and they're getting more attention. Is because our own, one thing, whether we like it or not, the media are partly to blame, but our own fan base. We had Dave on here earlier. A lot of time for Dave. Comes on my shows. A lot of respect for him as a man. But 1 minute, we're a top 10 max team, could get relegated. The next, it's, for fuck's sake, if Šeško would have turned up, we could have won the title. Liverpool fans don't typically do that. They control the narrative. And because the media is shit and they copy what we now say, you don't get the hit pieces. So there is an element here of a message. Stop maybe shitting on your own club so much, and maybe you don't get as much media pressure. Maybe they let some of your players actually settle. Maybe they let some of your players relax into their roles and you'll get better out of them. Maybe there's a message in there. Now, I know that content creators who thrive, especially on TikTok, thrive off of the emotional roller coaster every second of the day will go, no, that's nonsense. Well, of course you think it's nonsense, because if you agree with it, you have to change the kind of content you make, and that's fine. But whether what I'm saying is completely true or partly true, the one thing I do believe is 100%. The reason Wirtz isn't getting the attention that other clubs, quote unquote, slow starters or flops get is because their fans don't turn. By and large, their fans, they just go, I'm sticking with this guy until he leaves the football club. And I think there's a message somewhere in that, I feel, personally. Let's have a look here. What I respect about Liverpool fans is that they protect their players through bad form. I agree. By and large, they do. This here says, Floppy and Wirtz, he has had plenty of attention. From rival fans predominantly. From rival fans have pushed it. And I get, by the way, rival fans, do you fill your boots? You're meant to do it. Like rival fans are meant to do it. By and large, of course you are. So why don't you do it, Terry? I made a promise to my community on the terrace. I'd be as impartial and as unbiased as possible from the start of me making this channel. If people like it, great. If people don't like it, again, fuck off. I don't care. I've made a promise. This is what I do. But I get it. This here says, Liverpool are class and the most classy football club, not Arsenal. But them booing Trent, who won everything for them and owes them nothing, is some I disagree with. I mean, look, but you're a man who comes on here and lies about how much your club has spent, lies about the trophies you haven't won. You say Saka's completely finished. You say your manager's responsible for every injury of every player at your club. Yet you're annoyed. You also say Liverpool, the classiest club around because of how they behave. But yet they're booing a man because they feel stabbed in the back by him. I mean, it strikes me as I don't think you're an Arsenal fan, if I'm being honest with you, my friend. You might be. This is the guy that also regularly calls me out for using bots. And I want to tell you about this account. This account has no videos on no live streams, no videos, 3 shorts on his YouTube channel, but yet has 27,000 followers, but accuses me of buying bots.
Awkward.
Very awkward. Very awkward. So, Terry, you are suggesting we all slate Liverpool players. I am saying do what you feel is right. If you're a Liverpool fan, you want to slag off a player. Again, I never tell people what they should or shouldn't do, but that doesn't mean I don't give an opinion about the impact what you do has. There is a fundamental difference between those two situations. There's a live and let live attitude of you're free to do what you want, but there is a consequence to your actions. And I think one thing we do at Arsenal, we do at Man United, we do at Chelsea, we do at Man City, don't do it so much because they've been very successful, but we certainly see it at Tottenham. We see it at all these clubs, is we go at our managers and our players so heavy, so hard, so fast. And I don't know if you guys see the pattern. Whatever fans start saying on a Saturday, you can be sure there's an article about it on a Sunday in a newspaper, or Gary Neville's talking about it, or the Overlap are talking about it. They don't even. This is the most annoying thing about the mainstream media. Now, this is a professional discomfort rather than a football fan one. Is they don't even have to have real good researchers. They just need to watch 4 or 5 fan channels and go, right, we're talking about those things. They don't even have to fucking do any work anymore. It's easy. But then once they start saying it, everyone goes, oh, I was only having a rant because I was angry and had too many Stellas. Maybe I was right. And then people start doubling down on it. And I think we're too harsh on our own players sometimes, personally. But that's just me. Just me personally. Oh, okay. Someone said Fabio. Thank you for letting us know about Fabio. Injured. Do you know any one of those players, Fabio Carvalho? Do you remember the hype around him 3 or 4 years ago and what he was going to become and be? It's crazy what happens, you know. Crazy what happens. Good luck to him and get him recovered from that. By the way, if you're watching over on X, thank you. Give it a little retweet or a repost, as it's now called. Give it a little like. But you can come and join the community now live on the Football Terrace if you would like to. There's a link on the X post. Come and join the community. Come and join in with the chat as well. Terry, Arsenal are at 1 billion. You said 800 and something million the other day, when we are factually at 1 billion, or factually. So let's have a look since Arteta come in, and let's just do it. You could be right, by the way. You could be right. I've only again. Let's have a little look.
Net spend's about 800 mil.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't do net spend because I don't believe in it. I reject net spend. It's a fallacy. Clubs. I'll tell you why very quickly. Clubs don't use it. Clubs don't manage. The clubs don't use a net spend calendar. It's against their profit as a company. So I don't really look at that. But let's look at what
it's just under 1 bill. I think it's not 1 bill yet. It ain't hit that mark yet, but somewhere there. 80
there, right. So let's just do this now. So it's easy to do. So let me just get my calculator out, because I'm adding Mari that they got in the January after he arrived. Going to be very, very fair with this. So it's 8.6.
Hey, Terry, while you're doing your mouse, man, let me just say, listen, Florian Wirtz, if you see this, bro, my bad, bro. Sometimes I go crazy, bro. I know 6 degrees of separation happens. I don't want you to turn on me, pull up in a Lamb Rover, and do an Anthony Joshua. Nah, because I called him Frodo Baggins, bro. That's too far, bro. My bad, bro. Because I feel bad for him. I actually do feel bad for him, and I need to clarify, Because I do feel, because actually, do you know what it is about Wirtz, Is he's actually kind of humble, innit? So I do feel bad that he gets flack, innit? He actually don't say that.
He's one of he's humble. He's one of those players that are looking at him playing. I can see it in his face. He don't want it. He hasn't.
No,
got
I
that.
hear you. I agree.
I look at him, and that's what I do with a lot of players. I look at them on the pitch. I look at their face. I look in their eyes, and I say, "Do you want it?" He don't look like.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
You know what?
I agree. I'm just sorry, man. I don't want to be rude.
Kwess said what he said, and then the Christian in him, the Christian values, he's sitting there going, that's a bit too harsh. What's going to happen on Judgment Day? So I added it up. The Arsenal transfers on Transfer Market. I've taken the values from Transfer Market. It comes in at 1.08 billion euros. That converted into pounds comes in at 950 million up into the summer. So you know what? If you're
money, man, it's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money from that point there. There's no doubt about it. So it isn't quite at $1 billion yet, but it's in and around that level. It's 50 million shy. So if you want to round it up to $1 billion, I don't think too many people. But do you know why I push back against it? So it isn't $1 billion. So if you're going to say factually $1 billion, because you did the whole factually thing, you are wrong. But I think it's fair to say around $1 billion. So don't use the word factually, because you're now going to come in and go, I told you. No, you said factually $1 billion, which you're incorrect on. But it's around $1 billion. But the reason why you'll get pushback when you say that is because when it was 700 million, people were saying 900. When it was 500 million, people were saying 700. What I've noticed with what Arteta spends is people always like to, because what people do now, over $1 billion spent. Because over $1 billion, what, a penny over or 300 million over $1 billion? Which is it? So if you want to be factually correct, you've got to get it right. But yeah, listen, 950 million.
3 times the amount of Arsene Wenger did in 20 odd years in 6. That's what he's done.
Yeah, I mean, but look, there's an element
context to that, sir. I know there's context, but I'm just throwing
inflation in football. You've got to remember, we've done this before. Like, I think if you look at from the last TV deal that was announced before Wenger retired, it's gone up over 270% since then. So there's a lot more money in football now, if that makes sense. We are not factually the red £1 billion bottle jobs. I mean, you can call yourself. I mean, listen, if you want, this is the thing, right? You can call yourself that as an Arsenal fan if you want. What I don't get is why you would want to create labels and horrible names, even if you're bad. I've hated Man United sometimes in the last few years, but I wouldn't want to get nicknames created about my club that people laugh at. Why would you do that to yourself? That's the bit I don't understand. Why do you shit on your own? When I grew up, no matter how bad you were, you shut on rivals. You shout on rivals. Why is it this persistent? That's a difference, by the way. No one says you can't criticize your team when you lose a game or play badly. But why spend your whole day shitting on your own club rather than a rival? When did that change for you? Because there's no way you grew up doing that. Because up until the last 5 years on social media, no one ever did it. There was no one at school or nobody at work ever went into work or went to school. What are we doing today, guys? I'm going to shit on my own football club today. Maybe if you lost the final and we're rubbish, you go, we were shit, we were crap yesterday. The next day, don't talk about my club. That's how it always was. When did that change and why? The only reason I can think of is social media clout. That's the only one. That's the only one.
That always annoys me, even with the £1 billion bottle, what Chelsea, whatever thing was said. You got to look at that over a time frame. Half of that money, those players aren't even here anymore. So our squad itself, when they say, oh yeah, we spent £1 billion on a squad, half of that is from old squads that we've already got rid of. This specific squad isn't £1 billion. It's the same with Chelsea. Players come and go. It's over a period of time. So if you divide that by how many years Arteta has been here, it's not, if you go average by summer, it's not loads, it's not exorbitant. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, obviously, if you say 5 years spending.
Is it 6.5? How many years has he been here?
He's been there since 2019.
And you know what you got to take into account, though, Seb? We're not used to that. Let's be honest. Since Arteta's came, we've never seen spending like this. So obviously there's been change, like I said, the money coming into us. We've never seen this as Arsenal fans, ever. We've never seen this money being spent. So that's why we get a bit carried away and saying he spent a bill, it's time to deliver now, and other fans start talking about it. But it's not that much over 7 years, but it's a lot for Arsenal, in my opinion.
Period of time, I think we've spent the most in a summer once over that whole period of time. So even in one individual summer, we've barely spent the most.
You've also got to compare it up against it. It's so the teams that were look at all the teams that were ahead of you in that time. How much have they spent in that period too? Because again, if we're going to get into like factual conversations, Arsenal haven't spent £950 million in isolation, where everybody else has spent nothing. So there is that element you have to factor in there. You've also, but where I do agree is that in the last 3 years, you become a team that genuinely challenges for the major trophies, and you should now be judged on that. But the first few 100 million that was spent was taking you from being a bang average team that was nowhere near a title race, which is why you hounded your greatest ever manager out your football club, to even get you back to competing. Because one of the biggest arguments you all had, and I remember it, I watched AFTV and I've got Gooner mates. One of the biggest arguments you all had is we don't fucking spend any money. That's why we've gone backwards. So before you even get back to challenging, you've got to spend to get to that level. And I just don't like the removal of the context in those scenarios. That being said, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be judged on not winning trophies in the here and now.
I don't think I've heard one Arsenal fan complain about us spending the money. What we are complaining about is now it's time for some major trophies. That's all it is. That's all we're waiting for now.
I think that's a different conversation though to what that gentleman in the chat is sort of having. It's the way
I know that account, man. He's in a dark place, he's in a dark place.
He probably needs a hug, man. He probably needs a hug. In terms of Liverpool this weekend, before we move on to the final question, they're at home to Nottingham Forest. How do you think they're going to get on?
I think are they at home? They're at home, aren't they?
That means nothing, Seb. It means nothing if that Rome or not. I'm telling you, Sean Dyche is turning up there eating bricks, mate. Yeah.
I've played my wild card in FPL and I've stuck in Ekatike and Gravenberch, so they better score. I think they'll get the job done this weekend. I think 2-1. It'll be a close one. Obviously, Forest will defend for their lives, but I think they'll just have enough quality in the end, and I think they'll pick up. They're going to start picking points up eventually, aren't they? So it's going to happen, and I think they'll get the win this weekend. 2-1, it'll be close.
And I just had a change of heart, so I put Szoboszlai in now. I've taken him out and put Mateta in. I said, I can't trust Liverpool. They can't be trusted at the moment. You don't know what's going to happen. But I think they should get the win, but I'm not sure. Not 100% on it, man.
I hear that. I love this comment. Terry, why do you care so much about Arsenal, you weirdo? It's not about Arsenal. And you know it's not about Arsenal because you watch all my videos and you have done for 7 years. And we've done the maths on how much time you spend watching me. It's worked out to just over 1 year of your life in the last 7 years, where you add up all the minutes and the hours over that time. And that's awake hours, you know. So,
question, Terry, mate.
Go on.
Because me and you were from the same area, innit? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up in the same area. How did you start supporting the Manchester club? I always say that to my Manchester friends, my London friends that support Manchester United as well. Why didn't you stick to London like myself? What happened?
So, I mean, I always have a question for people that you know as well as I do. London's one of the only cities in the UK that's actually divided by postcode. I find it as strange that someone can be brought up in the East End of London but support a West London team, because when you're from the East End, West London means nothing to you. North London means nothing to you. But the reason I did it, the biggest reason is I had uncles and family that were Liverpool. And in the late 80s, going into the early 90s, Liverpool were the team. And I was drawn towards Man United partly because they were their biggest rivals and they were always laughing at Man United. I'm someone, I even do it now. There can be a boxing fight going on and I don't really know who I want to win. But if I see the majority of the pundits and fans of the sport go, this guy's going to get battered, I tend to start rooting for that underdog. When I picked Man United as my team in I think it was 1988, I remember my dad, it's one of my earliest memories, going, "You sure? Are you sure?" And then my uncles and my big brother laughing that I picked Man United. This was the late 80s. We still weren't very good. Then what kind of nailed it in for me is I went to the same school with David Beckham. It was obviously 10 years older than me. So that kind of the United stuff was all around the school and everything else in the East End of London. And it just ended up having to be a really good pick. People often forget my age. I didn't pick Man United in 1999 when they were treble winners. I picked them 10 years earlier when we were actually still being laughed at, rather than being called a glory hunter. And it was more by that quirk of fate, if I'm being honest with you. If they hadn't have taken the piss out of Man United so much, I probably wouldn't have been drawn to them. And I look back now and it's what a fantastic pick from a success point of view. But it's also my dad. And I spoke about this many. My dad sort of taught me and my brothers about football, but didn't tell us we had to support a local team. So if he'd have said you've got to pick the nearest team to your house, I would have. It would either have been Tottenham or West Ham, or Leyton Orient was next door to my house. My flats were above their ground near Brisbane Road, but I would have picked West Ham or Spurs. My dad said I can pick anyone I want, and that was it. That's the reason. So, yeah,
fair.
yeah. I was a bit like investing in Bitcoin. Everybody told me not to, and then it ended up being Man United. So,
That's crashing.
Yeah, it crashed now. Yeah, but yeah, I had my enjoyment, but. Yeah, do you know what? It's just, as I say, for me, it was, I remember that my dad, I just remember where I was. So where we lived in these flats, there was, he had like a balcony, and my dad has a little homemade pond on the balcony, and I remember him crouching down to talk to us next to this little pond on the balcony, which I also got in trouble for because about 3 weeks later I poured all the gravel into it and killed all these fish. And he just said, "Are you sure you want to be a Man United fan? Are you sure you want to be?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I remember the laughter. I just remember it. It was like such a great memory. But I remember, fast forward 10 years, all my family's around the house while we're winning a treble. And I'm like, yeah, I was fucking picked the right one, didn't I? So yeah, man, it was great. It was great times. I mean, loads of teams, and people don't remember that we're obviously Man United famous, but Arsenal, Liverpool, I know Everton did. There was one or two other teams that had more league titles than us at that point. Had more FA Cups than us at that point. We had one Champions League, but you had like Forest, you had Liverpool, and a few others that had the same or more Champions Leagues than we did. So this wasn't a team. They had a massive following because they were so famous because of the Busby Babes and everything else that came before it. But this wasn't a team people were like rushing out to support in that era. But yeah, that's the one good thing about being my age. You tell people your age, like, oh shit, yeah, you started supporting them before they were successful. Different if you're 30 or 25. I think it's a different conversation, but there we go. Fact or fiction? I'm going to go to Seb first on this one here. Tottenham will shock Arsenal this weekend and take all 3 points at the Emirates.
That's a very silly question because no, obviously I think we're gonna beat them comfortably. I have done a lot of Tottenham glazing this year because I do think they're good. I think defensively they're a lot better this year. They've got a really good manager, but their record against us in recent years, particularly, especially at our ground, is absolutely tragic. I don't think they've beaten us in, I can't remember the last year, 2015 maybe would have been the last time.
15 years, mate. 2010, November 2010, mate.
But even when you go back and look at, I think 80% of Tottenham's goals against Arsenal in that time have been from Kane and Heung-min Son, and neither of them are there anymore. I just don't think they've got the firepower up top at the moment to break us down, even without Gabriel in there. I don't think it's going to be a struggle. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. I think we might win 1 or 2-0. I just don't think they've got enough there, especially with the amount of injuries they've got. It's a big problem for them, especially in creative areas. They've missed Maddison, they've missed Kulusevski, for example. So I just don't think Tottenham's going to have enough, and I think they'll bow under the pressure. We need to come back strong after that draw against Sunderland, and I think we'll do the job. I don't really see a shock happening at all. If I'm honest, I'm not nervous at all. I usually get bad feelings before we lose, and I got a bad feeling before the Sunderland game, and we drew. But I haven't got any bad feelings at the moment. I just don't think Tottenham got the quality. They're not in a good. They're kind of up and down. I speak to mates that are Tottenham fans, and they're really disappointed so far, regardless of where they've been in the league. But yeah, I've probably cursed us now. I'll touch some wood, but I think we'll be fine. I don't see them touching us, to be honest.
What you saying, Dan? How do you feel about playing the old enemy?
Listen, mate, after that Sunderland game, I think I did come on the terrace. After the Sunderland game, I said to you, it's perfect that our next game is Tottenham at home. And it was, like I said, 2010 when they last beat us 15 years ago at the Emirates in the Premier League. Yunus Kabul with the header. We was 2-0 up. Yeah, they came back. They won 3-2. Gareth Bale scored that day as well. That's how long ago it was. Yeah, and like Seb said, they have not got Harry Kane. They have not got Heung-min Son no more. And I watched them against Chelsea. Didn't lay a glove on them. Yeah, lackluster. There was nothing going on for Tottenham. But then again, there's this great away record that they've got in the Premier League this season. And when Thomas Frank goes away to in the Premier League, he likes to play 5 at the back, especially if he's playing a big team. So I do believe they're going to come and set up very defensively. And the only concerns that I've got is that Gabriel's injured, number one. Not just defensively. I haven't got too many concerns defensively. We've got enough cover. Going forward, yeah, the best centre-back in the world from set pieces. The best player in the world from set pieces in that box. I'm going to put it out there. Tell me I'm lying. I'm not lying. He is the most dangerous man running into the box from set pieces. So that takes a lot away from us. And if we're being honest, we haven't looked great from open play, opening up teams. It hasn't been a great thing for us this season. But I still think we have enough to beat the scumbags Tottenham. 100%. Yeah? And I think I'm going for a 2-1, but Is Gyökeres going to be starting? I'm not too sure about that. And I think if Gyökeres is starting, this is his perfect opportunity to make his marker and arrive as an Arsenal striker. If he gets a goal in this game, gets the winning goal, he goes from hair to hair. Yeah, that's where he goes for me. Because for me, I've said it before, Gyökeres has been very underwhelming. So yeah, hopefully he is starting. In defence, I don't know who's going to go with now. Maybe Mosquera. I would prefer to see Calafiori as the centre-back, Miles Lewis-Skelly as the left-back. But yeah, we're going to do them, man. 2-1. I'm not getting carried away like other people. We're going to smash them 3-0, 4-0. I think it's going to be a tight encounter. 2-1 I'm going for. 2-1. Dan's in the comments saying 3-0. Yesterday he was saying 2-1. I don't know where that guy said that. He's gone back into delusion, man. It's crazy. But yeah, we're gonna do them. We're gonna do them.
It's a tough one, man. I actually don't predict Arsenal to win this game. I don't know if I land on a draw or a Spurs win. And I do put it down to the Gabriel injury. I just think he's the general in the team. And I think if you leave it to French Gary Cahill and Mosquera or whoever else is playing, I think it's a recipe for something going wrong. And I know that records are there to be broken. I know obviously 15 years, but I actually don't think Spurs look bad in the last like couple of games. I don't think
on what you just said there. They've got a couple draws in those 15 years. It ain't been all wins, innit? They have drawn there a few times.
Yeah. And I know they haven't got Bale and all these guys, Kane, all these guys. I do remember that game. I remember Bale. Is that the game? Blue kit, baby blue kit, and Bale put it top bins on the volley. I'm pretty sure that was the game, man. No, but I actually just think Spurs, I'm gonna say something mad. I think it could be a 3-1, you know. I think it could be I think it could be a Colomwani Batman mask goal. I think it could be Xavi Simons' first, and I think it could be a Van der Ven special, you know. I don't know. I could be wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong. But something tells me Arsenal don't win this game. I don't know. Whoever that voice is, I hope for your sake they're wrong. But I do think, Spurs could do a shock one here, you know.
I'm pretty sure Colomwani's he's out injured till January.
I thought he was doing a mask thing.
Well, it says he's got a broken jaw, but I'm looking on FOTMob now. So Tottenham's injuries are Gray, Davies, Takai, Dragusin, Maddison, Bergvall, Bissouma, Kulusevski, Solanke, Kudus, Colomwani. So if they all...
How long for?
It says Colomwani broken jaw early January. Kudus has got a knock, so he's definitely not playing. They've got so many injuries. It's actually unreal. It's just Xavi Simons has disappointed me greatly. I propped him up so much when he got to Spurs. I was like, I can't believe Spurs have got a player of his caliber, and he hasn't really stepped up. Kudus has probably been one of their best players this year. He's going to be missing as well. I just don't see where their creativity in this game is coming from, especially to break us down. I think we're just going to dominate in that midfield area, and I think that will win us the game. I just can't see where their goals are coming. Maybe Richarlison might get a header. I don't know, but the amount of injuries they've got, I just can't see Tottenham doing anything.
They're in the comments saying Mawani's fit, so I'm not too sure.
That's what I was saying. I'm sure he's doing the Batman mask thing.
Because I didn't see nothing about. I thought he was fit as well, but you might be right.
Going off where it says on my phone at the bottom, Colomwani injured. That's all I'm going off of. But
I can see people in the chat are having chest palpitations. They think I'm going mad. Listen, I'm not going mad. I've been mad. What I'm saying is that I just think this could be one of those games where something crazy happens. But again, I just put it down to the fixture more than anything. Like, I've seen this with Chelsea so many times where it's a mad record, blah, 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 and then a mad result happens. And I just think after international break, Spurs have been looking ropey. They've got everything to prove. I'm like, Arsenal are the ones sort of coming off a bit of a downer. I could see a little. I
think we're gonna have too much for them. I think Eze might have a good game. Saka's gonna be cooking. Trossard as well. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a good day for Tottenham, I'll be honest, but it's not going to be as easy as people think it's going to be, but I think we get the job done.
Yeah.
I can't see them. If you said they'll get a draw, they're not coming to the Emirates and winning 3-1. That's madness. Absolute madness.
Michael Oliver ref as well, you know. Little Declan Rice red and that. You know what I mean?
On that earlier.
I think
he ain't ref the game for us for 10 months. Last time he refed, that Wolves game where he set Lewis Skelly off. Yeah, then he was getting death threats. He wasn't leaving his ass. Yeah.
And let me say 4-1. 4-1.
Do you know what? For me, right? I think Arsenal will win, but I feel this is a game they have to win from a narrative and fan emotion perspective. I feel like there's a lot of Arteta outers that are like this right now. They're sort of hiding around the corner. They're ready to go. With the injury to Gabriel, 2 months of starvation, it's like the kitchen door might get left ajar and they're going to feast. I feel like they're ready to go. So I feel like Arsenal just sort of, that's purely from someone who talks to fans every day. I feel like Arsenal need to win to keep those guys, because those guys, I think you can see it. You know, you get those nitties that walk around town, they're just waiting. They're waiting for the methadone day. They're waiting for their methadone, brother. Do you know what I mean? I feel like they need that hit, and they're sitting there and they're like, "Oh, please, 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 please." And a part of me though wants to see Arsenal lose just to watch it, because it's like it's crazy. But I feel like they need their methadone. So I feel like from an Arsenal point of view, they need to win, so that they're able to just slow that down. Because I do think people are losing their minds a bit with the Gabriel injury. I think that Arsenal is going to weaken them because he's so good. But I actually think the squad's going to be able to cope with it. But I don't see this being too much of a problem for Arsenal. I think it's going to be 3. I think Spurs might score, but I'm going 3-1. I'm going to go 3-1 to Arsenal. 3 points in the bag. And then
point of view, Terry, if we was to lose or draw that game, what do you think that means for Arsenal?
It means you've dropped points in that moment. I think the narrative will be, this is proof they're not going to win the league from certain people. This is proof they're no good, because that 6, 7, 8 point gap has now maybe been reduced to 1 point if City have already won their game. But for me, my stance will remain the same, that you're the marginal favourites at that point. I felt that the lead you had was as good as it looked, and the slight advantage it gave you, it was so early in the season, you were going to go through a period of games where you drop points. This is a derby where points are dropped and things are leveled out, as an example. So I don't think it's the end of the world. And I think my message to Arsenal fans would be, get behind your team, be supportive, be as positive as possible. Don't start burning down the house. But I think that's what will happen. I think it will be everyone who doesn't think you can win or doesn't want Arteta to win, this will be their moment to go. What happens to a lot of the positive Arsenal fans in those moments is they disappear. They come off socials, they get off their X accounts, they stop publicly being supportive, and they just hide away. And then it becomes this weird. It's a bit like the night of the purge. It's like it'd be like the night of the purge. That's what will happen. And my personal feeling about Arsenal as a club, I feel your club performs better when there's a air of harmony and people are being supportive and positive, as opposed to burning everything down. But yeah, if you lose, if you lose, there'll be people that meant to love your club but really want you to lose to be right, that will be out.
If we lose that game, you won't see positive Dan for a week. When we drew Sunderland, I didn't speak for him for 2 days. No lies. 2 days.
Hey man,
mate, that's funny.
Charity boxing match settings.
That's not going to happen anyway, man. I'm pretty confident going into this.
Dan here says Spurs honestly have 0% chance that stadium will be rocking. Saka will boss it with a goal.
Dan, I love Dan, yeah, but sometimes I think it's not positive Dan, it's delusional Dan, because that is 0% chance is insane. It's a derby, because this is what I mean. If Arsenal were to lose to Spurs, yeah, I wouldn't lose my mind and be like, oh, Arsenal are rubbish now, blah blah. I'm just going, it's a derby. Some of these games are it's just the rub of the green, man. This is just how things go. I just 0% is nuts. Like, anything can happen.
That's where he's at most of the time, man. He's on the cusp of delusion, man.
He must be a genius then, isn't it? Because it's a fine line. It's a fine line.
Yes, they do say that. Terry, we play Spurs next. Yeah, like Spurs have got a big week as well. They've got PSG in the next game. So, like, you could argue Spurs might even look at it and be like, which one do you rotate for? Or which one do you rotate for? I mean, which one's more important to them? Listen, there's loads going. I do think Arsenal will win, though. 0% chance, though, that's too much for me. There's always a chance in every game in the Prem, let alone a derby, of dropping points. Maybe you won't win, but there we go. This CFC fan is just copium, is what AMT says here.
Yeah, man, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. To be honest, though, the only thing I'm going to push back is they keep saying history. Oh, in 15 years, they've not beat us, blah, blah. Okay, but this is what I said last time. Don't talk about history when it comes to Arsenal. It's better you just stay in the present. So if we talk about history, it don't look good. So just relax.
Yeah,
it's not
other elements of history. Yeah, I hear you.
You know
Look, I want to thank everyone who's tuned into the show this evening. I want to thank you all very, very much indeed. I'm going to be live in about 10 minutes on the United stand. So come join me as we're talking about Casemiro's exit that has been confirmed today at the end of the season. We're talking Elliot Anderson. We're talking Semenyo and more. Well, journalists have said it's very likely he leaves. But
he's actually been fantastic this year, though, to be fair to him.
He has, but I wouldn't give him another year, though. Not a 350 grand a week.
No,
You got to invest that money somewhere else. This is going to redirect you to Hussam's channel. They're going live. When are they going? They might already be live. They're already live now. So go and support Hussam and the boys over there, please. That would be amazing if you could. Gentlemen, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. I appreciate it massively. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we are going to see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Bless up.